This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 271. We are recording on Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. I'm Edie Sellers, and in the room we have Holy Goalie and a new, hopefully louder and clearer Nick DiNicola.
Hey, how you doing?
That sounds great. I like it.
I know, this new mic is great.
All of a sudden you sound like, what's his name? God, I always have a hard time remembering his name. Cockhalls.
No, Matrix.
Don Matrix. That's the Don Matrix
Oh,
headset.
yeah.
I bought Nick a new headset because I couldn't take it anymore. So you like it, huh?
Yeah, it's working well.
Yeah, it's a new one of the Plantronic headsets.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Almost like a real podcaster.
Yeah, and if you'll notice, moment of silence. It is a moment of silence. There's no behind it. Stupid. I don't know why you just didn't buy yourself a damn headset earlier. Because you knew I was going to buy you one eventually.
Oh, he's...
No, because, like, that headset costs $80. And I was like, why is an $8 headset so cheap?
Well,
Like,
that one wasn't
made-
$80.
Yeah, I know, but the one I had.
Yeah.
The Turtle Beach. So, you know what? Let's just say fuck Turtle Beach.
Hitting into the Facebook page and letting people know that we are on. So how are you guys doing?
We have water,
We don't.
so you can make fun of the snow and ice all you want. But I'm sitting over. You know what I did today? I filled up a pitcher of water, and I just went outside and dumped it in the driveway. Just as I could. And you know what was funny? All the neighbors are doing the same thing.
Because they can. Yeah, as of yesterday, $500 a day fines. I had said on Facebook it was a felony because that's what it said on one of the local radio television stations that I heard it as they were making the decision about the fines. But no, there are going to be tickets, but it's $500 a day if you water your plants to the point where there's runoff onto the sidewalk, if you wash down your sidewalk or any hard surfaces with drinkable water, like water out of your hose, if you wash your car without one of those shutoff valves, or if you have a fountain or other water feature that uses potable water and doesn't recirculate. $500 a day, babies. Why?
What if I just go buy some, like, bottled water and then just dump it on the ground?
Then you're fine. You can do that. You can buy your bottled water and dump it on the ground. But if it comes out of the hose that comes out of your water system that connects to your drinking water, which is what most hoses are, then, yeah, you're going to get fined.
Then I've got an idea. You buy a bunch of bottled water, drink it, and then fill it up with the hose water and then dump it, and no one will know the difference.
Well,
That's a great idea.
you could just take the bottled water, drink it, and then pee on your plants. There you go.
Oh.
That's completely legal.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I guess way back when we had such a dry November, December, and we didn't get any rain at the end of the year last year, they asked Californians to voluntarily cut back their water use by 20%. And what did we do? We increased our water usage by 1%.
Yeah.
So it's so bad that farmers in the valley, which is like the breadbasket of the world, because it's where a lot of your oranges and apples and soybeans and corn and all that, just amazing amount of your food. And I'm saying meaning in the United States, ton of food for the whole country comes out of the Central Valley. And they're not getting any water from the state. They usually get water allocations to augment what they've got because they don't have enough water to water their crops down there, so they get allocations from the state. Their allocations this year were 0, so they've had to rely upon groundwater, which some of them can pump just as much as they possibly can out of it, and they're pumping so hard. And in fact, some of them are pumping it out and selling it to other farmers who don't have water rights in their lots, and they're charging an alarming amount of money. They are pumping it out so hard that they have actually reduced the elevation of the Central Valley by 6 inches.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, they've made the Central Valley sink, and geologists are like, look, this can't be good. We don't know for sure, but we suspect that you might be putting a lot of stress on the San Andreas Fault, and we may have an earthquake because of this.
Oh, man. Wow.
They don't know for certain. I don't know if that's going to be true, but it's bad.
It's probably 4 inches, but you just tell everybody it's 6 inches. That's what I do.
Yeah. So the Sierras are now 6 inches higher than they were last year.
Wow.
And getting higher every day.
Well, so you got no water. We got plenty of water. We've been having torrential rains over here and storms over here. In fact, I didn't know if I was going to be able to record today because we had a huge storm come in this morning. So I shut down all the computers because power was flickering.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, how am I going to do this if the storm doesn't go away? But it did finally push by. It's just overcast now. So I'm hopefully going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, if you disappear, then we know why.
You know why?
It's got water, and we're going to be jealous.
Yep.
So, video games.
Been doing a lot.
Yeah, I did a fair amount. I did rise to the Wii challenge. Remember I said last week that I was going to play a Wii game?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well, first, spent almost 4 hours struggling to get my Wii U to update. I started at 6:00 last night, and I finally got it updated by 10 p.m. because I kept getting an error that apparently, and it's really only with this update that people were getting errors that said that they did not have a good Wi-Fi connection, because the Wii U is Wi-Fi only. It doesn't have an Ethernet port. So some people were saying that the Wii U is recommended to be no more than 6 feet from your wireless router, which is what? But besides that point, even people that had it within the 6 feet were having problems in getting this connection error when they were doing the update that I was updating. Oh. And in many cases, they had to pull their wireless router out and put their Wii U down right next to it, and then they could complete the
Really?
That bad. And it would start to update. It would sit there and it would go estimating, and it would be estimating for like 10 minutes. And finally you'd make a connection and it would say, takes 40 minutes. Then it would take an hour. Then it would take 6 hours. Then it would take 9 hours. And then it would drop. So this happened multiple times with me. Finally, I did the research on it. And fortunately, we did have one of the Nintendo LAN connectors, which we plugged in. As soon as we did it, bam, updated, no problem. Which will be great. All right, we're hardwired in. Awesome. Tried to download a game off of PSN. All of a sudden, the LAN connector didn't work. So I had to go back to the wireless connection, which was slower and didn't do as good a job. And I downloaded, what's that game? Child of Light. Which, as soon as I bought it, I realized I made a mistake. I mean, it's a good game. I haven't played much of it because I only had like an hour to play it. Because by the time I got everything updated and the game downloaded, I only have like an hour to play, if that. And I enjoyed it, but it's too much like Valiant Hearts as far as its art style and its play, with some variations.
It's funny you say that because it is made up from the same engine.
Right, exactly. And it's made by the same company. It's Ubi Art. So it's very Valiant Heart with some, with better hair graphics, essentially. Better hair engine. But, there's some differences where it's like 3D yet 2D, which is interesting.
I haven't played Valiant Hearts, but I think it looks better than Child of Light.
I am
Child of Light
enjoying.
has an interesting
Yes.
style, but not.
Valiant Hearts is better than Child of Light.
Good?
I will say that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
No
contest.
question.
I haven't played Valiant Hearts, and I agree with that.
Yeah, as soon as I started playing it, I realized, oh, this is the one that Nick didn't like.
Did you get to the dialogue?
Yeah, I've gotten to dialogue. I'm just doing my best to ignore that it's all rhyming.
Oh, you can't. You can't.
But I'm doing my best. But I'm not hating it so far. It's interesting. But the mistake that I made as soon as the biggest mistake, other than the fact that I realized, oh, this is the game that Nick hated, was that it wasn't a uniquely Nintendo game. And there were a bunch of uniquely Nintendo games that either I wasn't very interested in, or they were, pardon me, or they were $60, and it's like, I really don't want to spend $60 on this. I'll just go for the $15 game, and I wish I hadn't. So I will, Jaeger and Kevin Bolware, who are in the chat room and challenged me to do this, I will play a uniquely Nintendo game on the Wii U this week, and no, I'm not going to leave it to the last minute like I did this week. I just forgot. I said I was going to do that.
And I am going to cut my finger with an X-Acto knife and rub lemon juice on it. That's what I'm going to do.
It's not bad. Nintendo games aren't bad. They're
No,
just
Nintendo games
not
are
my
often
style.
Good.
There's a lot of crap. There's a lot of really just games that I know that I'm going to regret spending $60 on, but I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it.
I don't think you have to do that. I mean, a Nintendo game's a Nintendo game. You don't have to put yourself through that. Well, if you want to play a good Nintendo game, play the new Legend of Zelda on the 3DS.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was a good game.
All right. Corey Wallace in the chat room says I should play Zombie U or Lego U. Well, I do have Zombie U. But I'll probably try both. And yes, and Kevin Mulware also does point out that just so the chat room knows, Jaeger reminded Edie that she was supposed to play a Wii U game, which is why she turned it on and rushed buying a game. LOL. And that is 100% absolutely true. I totally forgot.
Yeah, she boots up her computer at 1 minute to 2. Oh, time it is out there, 1 minute of 11 every time we do the podcast. So I just rebooted my computer. It couldn't have done that 20 minutes ago.
No, I was too busy getting news. I was planning on getting up super early today, but I had nightmares last night. I had nightmares that I was barbecuing my dog, but she wouldn't die on the barbecue, so I had to pull her off the barbecue and strangle her because she was too burnt. I know.
What the fuck?
I know. And then I woke up this morning and found out that there had been a fire in the refinery right near my house right about the same time. I'm like, connected? I don't know. Yeah, I had nightmares last night, so I did not wake up well.
That's gross.
I know. Tell me about it. It's in my head. I know what it looks like. Feeling of strangling your dog because they're burnt and they're suffering. It was horrible. Which dog? It was Zoe, the GameHound. Not the lame hound, like the other one with the bad leg. It's my existing dog I strangled.
I call him Buggy.
Buggy?
Buggy, yeah, because he has all these bugs in him. Busted up.
Yeah, actually, it's not a bad name. Buggy instead of Buddy.
Moving on to
other games.
I got a whole list, but if you guys want to go because
all right. Well, Nick immediately texted me. What was it, last week, like on Thursday, and said, you have to play Wolf Among Us last episode because we got to talk about that. And I had just finished it, and I agree. We have to talk about the last episode. So there is going to be spoilers about the last episode of Last of Us. We will try our best to avoid them, but sometimes things pop out.
Wait, you're going to spoil Last of Us today?
Not going to spoil it.
I say we
Wait, Last of Us or the Wolf Among Us?
Not Last of Us, Wolf Among Us. I'm sorry. Did I say Last of Us? Wolf Among Us.
Last of Us is
Wolf
coming
Among Us.
out the end of this month on PS4, and we're going to get that. So I was going to say I was going to tune out for that.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. My bad. Wolf Among Us.
Is all...
Nobody cares about anyway, so.
Yeah. Last of Us, they live. I think that goes without saying. Come on,
Yeah,
it's a
'cause
zombie
you-
movie. They get away from the zombies.
Wait, did you play it?
What? Last of Us?
Last of Us?
Yeah.
Oh.
All the way to the end. All the
Oh, I
way
thought-
to the end.
For some reason, I thought you didn't play it.
I actually quit playing like 10 seconds before the end and then finally came back to it, rebooted it, and only had 10 seconds left of the game.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I know. Took me. I wish I'd known, but sorry, I got a frog in my throat today. Yeah, Wolf Among Us. I actually had to go online and look up the Last of Us or the Wolf Among Us ending to see what it meant, because I wasn't quite sure. And that's the problem with an episodic game, is that when something refers to events that happened in the very, very first episode, you kind of, it doesn't connect. Or if you played them all at once, it would connect. You know what I mean? You forget stuff.
Yeah, especially when the episodes come out so long after each other, like 2 months.
Right.
A little flashback to stuff that was said in the first episode, I was like, wait, what? What is this flashback trying to say? I don't
I know.
actually
That's
know.
exactly how I felt. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. And it's this, like one thing after another being said. I'm like, I don't remember what this is. Just being utterly confused by the ending. But when I went online and was reminded by people online of what it meant, it made sense. So do we want to spoil it?
Well, because that's the thing. I don't know if it makes sense. Either way, there's a character that we've never met. But I'm not sure if...
What do you mean there's a character we never met?
So, okay, I'm going to spoil it. Spoilers for Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, to turn off if you have not played the last episode, and come back in 60 to 90 seconds.
So, either Faith, we met in the first episode, was real, and she had glamored herself to look like Narissa. And so the Narissa that we met was fake, and the real Narissa is dead, and has been dead the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Faith we saw in the first episode was really Narissa. And so the Faith we saw was a fake, and she had been dead the whole time. So
Yes.
either way, there's a character that we never actually met, but I'm not sure which way the twist goes. I'm not sure if who's the real one and who's the fake one.
Kemp Bowler says, I haven't seen Citizen Kane. Rosebud is a sled. The general consensus online is that Narissa was glamored as Faith in the very first episode because Faith was already dead.
That's what you think.
That's what the general... I mean, there was a lot of discussion in many chat rooms about it, but the one that holds together the most was that Faith had been killed because she was going to get everybody out of the puddin' and pie. And Faith was essentially going to take down the puddin' and pie instead of just kind of trying to leave. And Faith had been killed by either Georgie or the Crooked Man. And she was already dead when the very first episode starts. And so because Narissa couldn't say anything because of the curse, that she glamored herself as Faith so that she could encounter the wolf, Bigby. That's why in one of the flashbacks of the discussion that Narissa uses the same line that Faith used when she met Bigby, the quote-unquote Faith. And what that means is that Narissa was actually... Narissa is actually Faith.
But...
And that Faith was the
it.
one that left the head on the front steps of Bigby's place to get him more involved. Essentially, it was her way of getting him involved without actually being able to speak about it.
Yeah, And I get that, and that's what she talks about in the last conversation. But I can also totally see it going the other way. And I think that's what the game wanted.
Right.
Because that turned Faith into more of a femme fatale character.
Right.
But I thought that Faith was real. And she had somehow... I mean, and this is where it gets murky because... you don't know the details, but somehow she turned herself into Narissa, and she turned Narissa into herself, which made Narissa the target, and she was killed, thinking that it was Faith. Because there's a line in the flashback, because we know that, okay, Faith's body was just a head, and the head has just showed up. But
right, and we never
Daphne's
found
body.
Faith's body, right.
And the thing that I read that made a lot of sense is that people said, well, the glamour has to wear off eventually, right? But with the troll, we only uncovered the glamour because we had her body, and we only uncovered the glamour after we found the little glamour box and solved it.
Right.
So if we never had the body for quote-unquote Faith, there's a chance that the glamour could just not wear off. And there's a line in that flashback of someone asking, like, well, what did Dr. Swinehart say about the head? And they responded, he said he needs to run more tests. Which I think is the game trying to imply that there's something suspicious about the head and something not to be trusted about that there's something not entirely truthful about it, which I think means it might be glamored and he just can't tell. And that Narissa is actually Faith the whole time.
Can we both agree that this was a Mass Effect ending in that it was not very satisfying because you can't figure out what it's saying?
No, I actually think it was really satisfying. Even though I don't know which way it's going, I kind of like that because that just makes it more mysterious. And my choice at the end to let her go and walk away felt really perfectly appropriate because it was just like me going, fuck it. I've got the crooked man. This mystery solved. Just let her go.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Like, I like that that's the sense that it felt in me. And I think if you chose to go after her, it's even more appropriate because you're like, I don't know what's going on. I want to know more.
Right.
I think the mystery of it kind of helps sell whatever your final decision was. I also really love this episode in general.
Yeah, it's a good episode. It's a very, very good episode. And, it does tie everything up, even though everything's not exactly clear. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm hoping they do a season 2.
Season 2.
You think so? I hope so.
I don't think so.
You don't?
Because, like, at the end it says, continue the story, and it shows the comics.
Well, they may get a contract for the second comics. How did Wolf Among Us do in sales?
I have no idea.
Kevin Bolware in the chat room says, haven't played any of Wolf Among Us, so this is more like hearing Japanese stereo instructions than spoilers. Yeah, I can understand that. So, all right.
I just want to know one thing. Did you kill the crooked man?
No, I did not kill the crooked man.
Oh.
Why? Should I have?
I did.
Oh,
It
and
was satisfying.
I wanted to, but I wanted Bigby to be a really nice guy.
No, fuck it. Like, for the past several episodes, my Bigby was out for fucking blood. Oh.
Oh, man, I hope I never cross you because you can turn into a real jerk. By the way, Thursday Nick has been making an appearance on the Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of your fans actually said how awesome you were and how that you have precision reviews of your games. And Thursday Nick called you a pansy and said that we were all shit stains.
Wow, what a dick.
Let me explain Thursday Nick. Thursday Nick is not Nick DiNicola.
It's not really me.
It's not him. Thursday Nick is an anti-hero.
It could be him.
It could be, but it's
Part
not.
Of me really wants to make a Twitter account named Wednesday Nick. That's just like so people know that it's not me.
I think you should.
If he's talking about reviews, I wonder if he knows about GameHounds, or if he comes from Pop Matters, which is
no, because he sent one to me as well. He said that we're awesome. The GameHounds is awesome.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then he's probably listening to this, and he knows Thursday Nick's not me.
No, that is Thursday Nick
On
is
a good
not
day.
Nick on Wednesday.
It is me on a bad day, though.
Yeah, it's Nick on Thursday. Thursday Nick is an asshole. That's the understanding. Let's see, what else did I play? I guess that's it. Really, Wolf Among Us and that. And I got to a point in Valiant Hearts that I freaking cannot get past.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
I finished that. I don't know if I mentioned that. I finished Valiant Hearts. That one part,
and it's embarrassing that I can't get past it because it's just button pushing. But
and it was very lame too. There was really no need for that there.
I knew something was coming, and I knew it was going to get to a point of where I was going to have a trouble. It's at the point where there's one character who does medicine, and when she does medicine, when she's healing someone, you have to do kind of a series of button presses.
It's almost like a Guitar Hero.
Yeah, a little bit like a Guitar Hero. And you have to do them in a precise order at a precise time. And the more times you fail, the worse the person gets. And the more times you succeed, the better he gets. But you have to get through a series of, I think it's 3 or 4 of these button press challenges. And I can get through 3 of them and like at a certain point. And it's like one of those ones where once you get off by one button, it's really hard to get back on. It's like it's because it's a rhythm, and it's like you blow the rhythm once, and it's really hard to catch that rhythm back again. And I've gotten through 3 of the button press challenges and not gotten through the 4th, and that's as close as I've gotten. I spent probably an hour trying to get through it, and failed. And it's like finally, it's like gotta turn it off before I chuck a controller. So I don't know if I'm going to go back.
I got through it. It took me 3 or 4. There was a few puzzles in that game that it took me 3 or 4 or 5 tries. Like driving the car, I would always die.
Oh, yeah. Driving the car, definitely.
At least they pick you up from a certain spot, but that whole
the button press thing, it does not pick you up. If you go through 3 of them and you blow it on the 4th, it puts you back to 1. It doesn't take you from the 3rd, which is not like the car challenges. The car challenges, it's got like bookmarks at certain points. So, but yeah, but enjoying the game. Wish I could get past that point. Wish I could just say, look, just give it to me. Just give it to me. Let me go, please.
Yeah. It'd be a nice option just to kind of skip. To say, would you like to skip this? Because like I say, it's a big hurdle right there. It's like, it has nothing to do with the game. It's just it's a button pressing. It's come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear you.
So what games did you hit, Goalie?
Along with finishing Valiant Hearts that you just talked about there, that was really a fun game. I don't think I go back and play it again. The replay value is really low unless you want to go back and get the collectibles.
Right.
But it did intrigue me on World War I. It really did. It kind of piqued my my whole history bug inside me to go and take a look at that. So that was kind of neat about Valiant Hearts. We see finish Sniper Elite campaign on easy, and I actually played a little bit of the co-op with Wallace.
Oh, that reminds me, I did pick up Sniper Elite and did play a little bit of the campaign.
Oh, cool.
What do you think?
So far, so good. I'm a terrible sniper. I'm really bad. I am not stealthy. I am really not stealthy. So I just pretty much I do my best to walk in, but invariably I alert the entire camp that you're getting sniped. But fortunately, I'm playing it on easy, so they go back. It's like, oh, okay, well, those guys are all dead. Oh, well, back to my spot.
They do that no matter what difficulty you play on.
All right, good. Because, yeah, I spend a lot of time shooting and then running across the screen, laying down and hiding.
See, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to run across the screen. You want to shoot and then crouch walk across the screen.
Crouch walk.
You definitely that's one of those. What's great about the Sniper Elite 3 is that the maps are pretty good size, at least mostly. They're pretty wide open. There's a couple, you don't get on corridors usually. Usually it's a big open area. And the idea is you go as silent as you can for as long as you can.
Right.
And then eventually you got to go loud. And the idea is when you go loud, you start alerting people. But if you go loud and then you drop down, they don't know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when they do spot you, you relocate. And that's what this turned into a double A title rather than a triple A title, because after you start killing people and they walk over bodies, if they can't find it, it's like, oh, clear. And they just go back to just walking around normal, So, so that's one of the little flaws of the game there. But, I mean, there was one mission that I kept failing and getting caught, and it probably took me 4 hours, this one mission. By the time I finally finished it, just because I was sneaking around and trying this, and it's a lot of experimenting. I had a lot of fun with it.
What the hell is that?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Some guy started cutting a lawn. Hang on.
It's all right. It's okay. Things happen. Dope. And Nick was never heard from again.
You gotta sneak around a Sniper Elite 3.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm playing some co-op with Chaos. We played the he was the not the mercenary, but the special ops or the spec ops or the spotter or something, and I was a sniper up in the up in the mountains there. And so I played that with him, and that was fun. And then Wallace played Wallace, what did we play? Oh, we played co-op campaign. And you know what was pretty hysterical about that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it's basically, you just play the campaign, but with somebody else. Now, playing by yourself, it took me a while to get through some of these missions, and I took my time and a whole bit. When you get two people, you walk through it. I mean, we were doing missions in 10 minutes. It would take me an hour on my own, just because I would creep along and, look for ammo and try to stab people. When you get two people, though, you get to start picking people off.
Right, and that's what I noticed when I played it, as I thought, I actually really would love to play this with two people. I prefer to play this with two people.
It is, but the problem is it goes so fast.
Oh.
Missions, we blew through the missions. We played 2 missions in 15 to 20 minutes. Just
really?
Yeah, I mean, he was like going off and picking off all these guys, and I was like stealthing around. I was like, oh well, screw it. If you're gonna go loud, I'm going loud. And so we just we had to blow trucks and tanks and a whole bit, and just wiped everybody out. And then I think we did a co-op survival, and we got to out of the 15 rounds, I think we got to 12. And I was trying to throw dynamite to blow up a tank, and I threw it, and the tank stopped. So I got the dynamite and threw it again. The tank took it, and then we couldn't revive me. But we did really well on that. You know what was hysterical about the co-op survival is that you got a big map, and so there's 2 of you in this map. So what he would do is he'd go way up high in this building, right? And he'd go loud. He'd start picking off people. I would be in the building below, hiding, and I'd see everybody run by me. It was freaking hilarious. And so then they'd all take up so then I'd swoop around him. So he's at the top of this building and all the enemies outside lined up behind the walls. And I'd go behind him and I would just shoot them all in the back. Somehow it just saw me. So it was pretty good teamwork doing that stuff there. Occasionally we'd have to go revive each other, or we'd end up on the same rooftop or something like that. But the co-op survival, boy, that's long.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good game. And if you play by yourself, I think I played 35 minutes one day, and I was on level 9 or 10. It's a long game, but it's fun. It's just they keep coming, then they send vehicles after you and the whole bit.
And is it only 2-player co-op, or is it?
I think it's just 2-player. Yeah, there is a multiplayer mode, which is probably like a Call of Duty team deathmatch type of. Yeah, but I don't do that. Played the co-op missions. We played co-op survival. I really like it. Really.
I would be willing to play some co-op survival with anyone. Just putting that out there. Play PSN name Gamer Edie, EDIE, all one word. Hunt me down, and so to speak, and shoot me an email. Padoom boom.
Yeah.
Or shoot me an in-game mail, and we'll play.
Yeah, or Gamer Goalie. That's myself, and I will be there. Playing online myself.
Yep.
Having some fun with that. So, so let's see. Finish Valiant Hearts. Finish Sniper Elite 3. What we actually did is we put in some Call of Duty, the newer one there. I don't even remember.
Black Ops 2?
No.
Ghost.
And I actually put that in, and me and Mrs. Goalie and Barbara, were playing the combat training, whereas you basically just pick a map, pick how many enemies, you all get on the same team, then you just run around and shoot the enemy. So it's team deathmatch, but co-op is how you can do that. And so we were having a lot of fun with that, just running around the map and playing some team deathmatch just with ourselves. It was really, really fun. And we you talk about puss mode. If there's something below puss mode, that's what we played on, because we like had our health doubled and our health regeneration doubled. We had their health at half. We had radar on all the time so we could see exactly where all the enemies were.
Oh, wow.
Still were getting killed.
Of course you were.
But it was so fun. It was really good. So playing some Call of Duty, and then because I had the disc in, I started up the campaign on Call of Duty. Now I did it on Xbox 360, but I didn't play the campaign on PS4. So I went back, started playing some of the campaign on PS4. So the campaign was okay.
Right.
It's not doing much for me, but it was okay. But another campaign I put in that I said I was gonna go back and finish. Killzone Shadowfall.
And?
I put it in, right? And as soon as I picked up from where I was, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Just don't know what else to say about it. The story doesn't get me. I can never tell where anybody is till they start shooting me. There's something just about this game that I just am not clicking with. I don't know. I can't find people. I can't shoot people. The story's stupid. It just the control. They have a unique control scheme, and it's not a good unique control scheme.
Oh, that's a shame.
Some of it, obviously, some of the shooting and loading is the same, but the owl, you call the owl up to do certain things. Don't like that. It's just trying to picking up stuff. I'm throwing grenades. It's just this game. I've been fighting this game since it come out on opening day, and I keep trying to plug through it, and I says I'm going to get through it. How bad of a game? It's just not. It just doesn't work for me. So I ejected it, deleted it. That's going back to the store as soon as I can. So Killzone Shadowfall. I just can't do this game. I don't know what it is. It is so different to me anyway from all the other shooter games. Like I said, the Sniper 3 I picked up, loved it. It's not even a AAA title, and I loved it. So why is Killzone Shadowfall so different? As much as I dump on Halo because that's all you heard about, I could play Halo.
Yeah.
So this I just couldn't play. So
why do you keep going back to it?
But I'm done. I deleted it off the system. So now even if I went back, I'd have to start over.
Really? I have
Wow.
news regarding Shadowfall that will make you want to go back and play it.
Yeah, they have co-op, right?
No.
We'll have to wait till news. No spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers. We've already had enough spoilers in this game.
Yeah, I got Sniper Elite news. We'll wait for news. And the last thing I played is, oh my gosh, this baseball game, MLB.
Wow, you are so hooked on that game.
Yeah, you know what it is? First of all, it's good. Anytime you play a game that's gorgeous, you just want to play it because it's beautiful. And then the presentation is just so good. And I was a big fan of baseball when I was a kid. I really was. Now I'm not so much, but when I was a kid, I liked it. In this game, you can tweak everything. It's amazing how much you can tweak this game to get it to a point that you are having fun with it. Whether you dumb it down, whether you speed it up, whether you change uniforms, whether you have easy batting, easy pitching, hard pitching, you can control what you want to control. It just does it so nice. In fact, I didn't even realize they have a ramp up or a dynamic mode, which as you get better, it gives you more things. So in other words, all of a sudden I saw this ball in the outfield. I was like, what's that? And my guy wasn't moving, so I had to move my guy to go get it. Because I had progressed so far, they're now letting me do some fielding. Mm-hmm. For all that. Before, it was all automatic.
Right.
But I've played so much, and I've gotten so good at the automatic stuff. Not that you do anything automatically, but now they let me do some fielding. And I was like, well, I put all the settings back, but it was kind of neat that they would ramp you up that slow. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to do some fielding, do some fielding. If you want to do this, do it. So it just does everything so well. Then last night was the kicker. Oh, my gosh. Last night, Tuesday night's my late night at work. You guys weren't on last night, by the way. I didn't see you.
No, I was on Wii.
I get on at midnight last night looking for you guys. And I went into this. It's called the Vault or something like that, and everybody uploads players and rosters and different configurations of the game. Somebody had put up the rosters. Now, I don't know how many teams he did and how it's going to work with teams that didn't exist in 1975, but he put all the rosters up from 1975.
Oh, my God.
So I immediately downloaded that, loaded it, and I uploaded. I started a game between the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox. What happened in 1975 between the Reds and the Red Sox? Carlton Fisk hitting the home run, going up first line. Anybody that's seen baseball knows that play.
Yep.
So I had the Reds at the Red Sox, Louis Tiant on the mound for the Red Sox, Carlton Fisk catching, Johnny Bench for the Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose for the Cincinnati Reds. Young people don't know this, but us older people,
yeah.
Yeah, you're talking Japanese instructions.
That's right, Japanese stereo instructions.
But it's just all the old guys were there. Now, not all their numbers were right. You know, but the Red Sox were the Reds. All their numbers were messed up. But I give this guy credit. Holy cow! So then I played Red Sox and the A's, and they had Reggie Jackson playing on the A's.
with Billy Martin being the manager.
There was a lot of guys. And what was hysterical? Okay, this is more Japanese talk. But what was hysterical? For me, it just brought me back. Like, everybody that come up to the plate, I'm like, oh, my gosh, I remember this guy. I got his baseball card. Yeah. And the next guy that come up to the plate, oh, my gosh, I remember this guy. I remember Joe Moody. I remember Denny Doyle. I remember Fred Lynn. I remember Kyle Yastrzemski. You know, all these guys. And even on other teams, it's like, oh, my gosh, I remember, Raleigh Fingers. It's like,
Raleigh Fingers, one of the best mustaches in baseball ever.
So, all these guys are in there. Joe Morgan at the plate for the Reds, I mean, so
even Nick has to appreciate a pitcher whose real name is Raleigh Fingers. And he had a huge handlebar mustache that he waxed the hell out of. Curly ends and everything. A Snidely Whiplash mustache.
Oh, big time, yeah. And what's funny is that a lot of people back there in the 70s had mustaches. And the guy that created these guys not only got their names and everything, but their characters looked pretty close to what they were. And it was just, I don't know how much time he must have taken to do this. But so far I've seen the Reds, Red Sox, and A's, and they're all back to the rosters. Now, obviously, there's no Arizona Diamondbacks back then. But so I'm wondering if he got all the teams from back then. So I haven't played the Yankees yet. I imagine they got Willie Randolph and Thurman Munson and all those guys. Catfish Hunter, and he's another mustache guy.
Yeah.
But boy, just every time I play this
70s baseball had the best baseball names.
It did. The relief pitchers with the sideburns that come down and attach their mustaches. It was like porn style.
Yeah, and with a name like Catfish Hunter. Yes, that was his real name. Catfish Hunter. Catfish Hunter. Johnny Bench.
Good stuff. Yeah, so I get the 75 roster. I actually downloaded, somebody did the 85 rosters too. No, I haven't put those in. But every time I play this game, there's something new I find, and it's just, this is so much fun. Just sitting back, playing this game, and like I said, I'm playing just exhibition games right now. I'm not even playing the season, but so many things in this MLB The Show 14, and I don't even like baseball, and I'm loving this game. Yeah. Just absolutely loving this game.
And for historical accuracy, Corey Wallace does point out that Billy Martin was the manager of the Yankees in 75. Later, he became the A's manager. And he played for the A's. He started with the A's. My parents actually knew him. He grew up in my neighborhood.
Yeah, Billy Ball.
Billy Ball. Exactly.
So, yeah. So
Catfish Hunter's name was Jim, yes, but nobody called him Jim. His name was Catfish Hunter.
Exactly.
But Raleigh Fingers is still the best name ever in baseball.
Yep. Some good ones. So I'm having so much fun. And I always put on the throwback uniforms. I've been tweeting and Facebooking out some of the old light powder blue uniforms that the teams used to wear. So,
yep.
So that's what I've been doing. Some good, some bad, some ugly as far as game playing goes. Still waiting for my laptop to get back that I sent.
Good.
They've had a week, and I haven't heard a thing about it.
Well, it might have been a significant issue. Give it, it takes probably 4 days to get there. They probably only had it for a day, maybe.
I spent a lot of money to get there in 2 days because I didn't want it rattling around on a truck for a week.
Good point. Okay.
They've
had it for 3.
They've had it since Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, that's about.
And it'd be nice if they said, we got it.
Yeah, usually
Just hey,
that's what people say.
just
Yeah.
hey, it arrived. It's heading to the shop to be looked at. Not like I sent him another request. Like, just tell me you got it. And it's like, oh yeah, we got it. Well, tell me. Tell me that you received it and it's going to get fixed.
Yeah.
And that's the next step. But just don't leave me hanging with nothing.
Yeah.
Not real happy about that.
Well, keep us posted. Nick,
Alright,
what did
so
you
I
play?
can play-
Other than Wolf Among Us, Nick, what did you play?
Last night I played one game and actually beat it. It was
In one
surprisingly
night?
Short. Yeah, called Gunpoint.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty fun though. It's kind of a puzzle action game.
Mm-hmm.
You play as this freelance spy, and you're hired by various companies to kind of steal stuff from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the story is actually really cool because you're like a quadruple agent at times, and you like in the beginning you witness this murder, and then this woman's friend says, "Okay, I'm going to help you find out who did this, but in order to do this, we have to steal all the security footage because it shows you were there." So you go do that, you steal all the footage, and then the person who's being framed for it hires you to go try to steal the footage, but you keep coming back to her and saying, "Nope, the footage is gone, that you stole." So there's a nice back and forth, like kind of a twisty story, but the way the game actually plays is neat. You can jump really far. Like, you're just this guy in a trench coat, but it's like a magic special trench coat that lets you jump really far, lets you jump off buildings and not take damage. And you jump kind of like a frog. So what that means is you can jump through windows and onto guys and then punch them to knock them out. Or if you're inside a building, you can jump and knock them out the window and like fall down several stories with these guys. And some guys have like on a lot of armor, so that's the only way you can kill them.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a lot of really cool moments where you're just like leaping from ceilings onto guards and punching them, leaping onto guards out windows. But then there's like a whole hacking system where like there's light switches everywhere. And you go into this special hacking view, and then you can kind of change the circuits around so that instead of this light switch turning on or off the light, you can make it open and close a door. And then you can make it open, turn on or off a security camera. Or then you could rewire the security camera so that when it sees you, it opens a door. And so on and so on. And that's like where the puzzle aspect comes in. And so you use that to kind of hack your way around through a building so that you can like get to the bottom of the top to steal some prototype or whatever, and then get out. And it's really, really fun. Like, it's a well done game. It's really charming. It's really funny because even though the story is pretty serious, you can have some really, really glib responses to things that the people accuse you of. But I guess that like the one downside is that it's surprisingly short.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it on sale, and I think it's
How
normally like
much?
$10. I forget. I bought it like
$10 seems an awful lot for a really short game that you can kill off in a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like I'm usually good with games that are short as long as they're really fun. But with this one, it wasn't just that it was short. It feels like it ended kind of as soon as it was really beginning to, like, as the mechanics were really beginning to get interesting. Like, I understand why it ended when it did, because, like, the story kind of ended, and that's all you could do. Like, to try to force that story longer would just be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But mechanically, it feels like right as it's getting to the point, you go through the tutorial levels, you go through the easy levels, you go through the medium levels, then you're like, okay, I'm ready for like the serious shit now. But then it ended, and it was like, it ended at the medium levels. Like right before the game starts to really get twisty and difficult and stress its mechanics and like make you really think about the levels is when it ended. So that was kind of disappointing. I'm glad it got on sale, and it's certainly fun. It's a great way to spend an evening. Watch for it on winter sale.
Good. All right. Well, and so you're not disappointed that it's $10. You're okay with
I
that.
didn't pay $10 for it.
Oh, of course you didn't. But do you
No,
think
I didn't get a review? I
bought it on sale?
probably got on sale.
Right, but if you had to buy it for $10 now, would it be worth it?
I'd be kind of I'd be like, well, that's what I say. You know, it's good to wait for sale.
Yeah. All right. Time for the winter sale.
Although the game that I did buy on sale, but is totally worth its full price, which I don't even know what it is, but is slowly becoming one of my favorite games of the year, is One Finger Death Punch.
Oh, this one again, huh?
Really?
This one, I keep going back to this and playing more of it. Like, this might be as mechanically perfect a game as you can.
God dang it! I'm gonna have to buy it, aren't I? Do you know if it's gonna come to console or if it's just gonna stay on Steam?
I have no idea.
Would it fit for console?
Absolutely, it's two buttons. I play it with a controller.
Okay.
I mean, it's on Xbox 360. You know, as one of the indie games.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea if it's going to come to PS4 or Xbox One. But goddamn, like it's just the kind of game that, as I play each level and play it more and more, after every level, I'm just like so incredibly excited and I just feel awesome. It's like, all right, I beat that level. I beat all those guys. It's awesome. And at this point, I'm starting to get kind of good at it. And so it ceases to be like, you know, instead of looking at the numbers below each of the enemies and saying, okay, this guy is 1 hit, this guy's 2 hits, and I've got to go left, right. This guy's 3 hits, and I got to go left, left, right. Instead of looking at that, because all the enemies are color-coded so that each color represents a specific button pattern of left and right, it's almost like the best way I can think of it is like reading music. So that if you're reading music, you know, you're just kind of looking at the notes and you know how to play them. And with this one, I look at the color and I automatically know what combination of buttons they require. So it's just like this really awesome second nature instinctive thing. It's like a rhythm game. You know, like when you get really into a rhythm game and you just kind of you're in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, except it's not based on any rhythm. It's just based on color codes and patterns. But it's just everything that it does about its style, the fact that it's only 2 buttons, and I've been playing it for several hours and never gotten bored of it, even the slightest, is so amazing to me.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it.
It's just such a well done game. Like, it's such a simple concept, and they do everything they. If Gunpoint was disappointing because I felt like they didn't really take advantage of the mechanics that they had, One Finger Death Punch is fantastic because they do every possible thing they can with the mechanics. It's like, I don't know what else you could add to the game.
All right.
It's fantastic.
I'll pick it up. I'm going to pick it up.
Shit out of it.
It's nice when a game plays really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah, it is. And that's what's great about it. It's just, it feels so good to play.
All right. I'm doing that. So is that last of the games?
Yeah, I Sniper Elite 3. I played 1 level of it. I haven't played a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah. All right, we'll play together sometime.
Are you guys liking that?
I'm not hating it. Like I said, I know I'm sucking at it. I know I'm sucking horribly at it. But at the same time, I'm kind of enjoying it. But I realize that I'm a terrible, terrible, terrible sniper. I would not do well in real life.
I don't think I would do good in real life either.
In the zombie apocalypse,
I play games.
when they need a sniper, I would be the person they would pass over for very good reason.
What setting are you? Put it on cadet. Don't put it on normal. Put it on.
No,
cadet.
I have it on cadet. That's the only reason why I'm surviving is because I play so badly.
Well, I think the thing is, don't run.
Don't what?
Don't run.
All right, I'll stop running.
Because when you run, they can they can see you from really far away.
All right. According to AC Wraith, One Finger Death Punch is bundled at the moment at IndieGala.com on their weekly sale.
IndieGala? I've never heard of IndieGala.
And Nick says, Kevin Bolware says, Nick, get Corpse Party for PSN.
I've heard a lot about that. I've heard it's like a kind of a visual novel, horror visual novel.
Really?
Up.
No?
I've never bought it because I thought it was always just for the Vita. So, Kevin, can you tell me if it's actually out on PS4 or is it? Because PSN can apply to Vita games as well.
Right.
Like if you say it's on PSN, it could be a Vita only game.
Right, and that would be useless for us.
Yeah.
We're not Vita'd. Or as Nick Goley calls it, the Viter. We're not Vitered.
I actually tried the remote play in the Vita the other day. I was out on the deck.
On the what?
On the deck.
Oh, no. What were you, what console were you playing?
I had the Vita.
Right.
And then on the PS4. So I went out on the deck and I was trying to play. It was kind of sunny. I could hardly see it, but I ended up remote playing a game of baseball on the deck with my Vita.
In your reader. Let's see. Two things. Diego's asking, did we see the editorial on talking about games? And I have not. I will have to look that up. We've been kind of doing a podcast. Hint, hint. And Mark Korblat, who's a new listener. Actually, I know him. He's with Game of Drones, my drones people. I'm working on getting a new drones podcast. So if anybody wants to continue with me over on a new podcast that's not talking about games, that's even more like reading Chinese stereo instructions if you don't build drones and do the drone thing. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast with him. He's saying, have you seen the Sopranos opening credits that were remade in GTA 5? Somebody redid that.
Is it possible to do a podcast that talks less about games than we do?
Yeah. We'll find out. Yeah, I'll look that up later because unfortunately I hate running videos while I'm running the show because it could bog down the show. But anyway, time for the news, you think?
Yes.
All right, let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds News, the news, views, and commentary of the world in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, and Nick DiNicola. And the first item is...
Okay, Goalie, you deleted Shadowfall off of your PS4.
I did. It's going back to the store as soon as
You're convinced you don't want to play it again.
Unless they've managed to somehow change this game so I can possibly play it. But right now, I can't play it.
What if I told you that in the newest piece of downloadable content, you had the ability to fart?
Oh, the ultimate conundrum. Oh, I'm enjoying this. It's delicious. Go, Goalie, tell me.
And
what will you do?
Fart and plank.
Really? Is that what they're really going to do?
I am dead serious. According to the Polygon article, there are quote-unquote and other comedic actions to Shadowfall's spotlight moves, special finishers that can be used in combat.
Oh.
Well, I can't kill anybody. I would never, ever get to the point.
Well, we could just go into multiplayer and just stand around and fart and plank each other.
Oh, man.
That would actually make a better game. That would make a better game than the game is.
That would not even save the game.
I promise you, my listeners, our listeners, I will, when that thing comes out, even though I freaking hated Killzone, I promise you I will download that downloadable content. I will pay for it out of pocket, and I will Twitch me standing around in multiplayer doing nothing but farting and planking. I will do that. It's a terrible game. Terrible game. So, yeah, I'll do that. Something to look forward to. My item is that, let's see. Well, I'll bring it up because it was brought up in the chat room. You know Manuel Noriega?
Oh, cheap is this? Yeah.
Yeah, you heard about that. Panama, I guess you'd be fair to call him a dictator in Panama, was captured by the U.S., thrown in jail, spent a bunch of time in jail. I think he's out and about being, the sassy, sexy playboy that he is. He is suing Activision because he says that he was depicted in Call of Duty Black Ops. In his complaint, he says that he was portrayed as a, quote, kidnapper, murderer, and enemy of the state. He is seeking unspecified monetary damages. And he joins an illustrious cast, including Lindsay Lohan, who just sued GTA 5, and all the NC2A players who are also suing NC2A for use and likeness.
Yeah.
Although, isn't there, if you're a public figure, there is, a certain, not leeway, but, you can't always sue for likeness if you're a public figure, because you're a public figure.
Yeah, I don't know the deals. We should get with Heartbreak Ridge. He would know. He would know the absolute details of use of likenesses permitted and not permitted without compensation. Him being a judge and all. We have smart people that are listening to this podcast. So,
it's so far-fetched because it's you could look at any of these digital people, and they look like so many different people.
Well, in this case, it's unlike Lindsay Lohan, whose character was not named. It was a parody of her where she's going to be just thrown out of hand. She did it for publicity. In the case of the NC2A players and Manuel Noriega, they were both named. Those characters are them. They were both, it's said in the game, this was for sure them. Like the players.
I imagine the players would have a good case because
players do have
with
a
a
good
sports
case.
game like that, the idea of it being the actual players is a selling point.
Right, and it's
so
it's more than just their likeness. It's actually their likeness and their stats and the way that they play and the whole thing.
And you could legitimately say that the game is making money off of their name.
Yes.
With Noriega, I don't think anyone bought Call of Duty
because
of him.
Manuel Noriega was in it. No. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. Just another one of those lawsuits we're going to follow very carefully. Who knows? Sometimes in lawsuits, depositions in lawsuits can reveal lots of fun stuff, especially if it gets to that stage. So, we'll see. Goalie, you bring anything?
Yeah. Speaking of Sniper Elite 3 that we talked about earlier, some DLC got released. The bonus Hitler mission is finally available to anybody. It's called The Hunt of the Grey Wolf, and takes place back in North Africa where the game takes place. And it's available on PlayStation and Xbox Live. $8 for this mission. And, I'm hemming and hawing over this because I really did like Sniper Elite 3. And I'm like, $8 for one mission. Then when I look back, if it's as good as some of the other missions that I really took my time with, it might be worth it. And they said that if you go back and play through it again, the identities and locations of the targets, they're going to be random. So it won't be the same thing every time.
Oh.
So I'm probably going to get it. I got to say.
You probably will, because you're enjoying that game way too much not to.
Yeah, I am. I'm still going back, and I was done with it, but now I've been playing some co-op with some people, Wallace and Chaos, and maybe you guys at some point. So for $8, I'll probably pick this up and go play another mission on the Sniper Elite 3. And I do want to go back and play it again, just all different. I really want to try to go stealth. I kind of rushed through some of the missions,
right?
But I really want to try it a different way, and that's what's great about stealth games is they give you the option of going stealthy or going loud. And so I want to go back and take my time doing it. I tried streaming this a few times. It is really boring to stream. It's a lot of hanging around and waiting and watching guards, and it's just not good TV at all.
Yeah. Kevin Bulwer says, to clear up the question about the Manuel Noriega suit, only parody and nonprofit educational use is allowed.
Parody and non-profitable something.
Nonprofit educational use. I know that's big words for you, Goalie.
Well, Call of Duty was just educating people about Noriega's politics.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt they can argue that, but my next item is PSN. Let's see. Is brought up in the chat room. Might as well hit it. According to Bloomberg, Microsoft may lay off thousands of employees. It may be the biggest round of layoffs since 2009, and it may hit this week. The investment news source says that more than 5,000 people will lose their jobs at Microsoft any minute now. And as you may recall, that last April, Microsoft bought Nokia. So when they did that, there was a lot of overlap. There was a lot of duplication of jobs. And so there's Bloomberg sources saying that most of the layoffs are probably going to be in the divisions that are overlapping with through the Nokia deal. But in addition, they said that marketing and engineering sectors will also likely be affected. I'm imagining that the overlap is probably going to be the vast majority of the people that are going to lose their jobs. But the marketing may very well, which is stupid, because if one thing that Microsoft needs right now is more marketing. The problem was that they fired all their marketing after the 360 was successful and didn't rehire anybody before they relaunched the Xbox One. Thus, we had the DRM / always on / Connect issue. Whoop. Gully?
Yeah, we got a major storm brewing outside here, so
all right.
Hopefully you won't lose me. It is coming down really good.
No,
though.
all right. If we lose you, we lose you. Actually, if we lose you, we will lose the chat. So if you in the chat room or if you're listening on demand afterwards, if the whole thing shuts down, I will stay here and Nick and I will go on and Goli will add later when.
Well, we have to reconnect on Skype with Nick.
Right, exactly. I'll host the chat and then Nick, I'll call. Then you can join us. All right.
If it gets really bad, I'm going to shut down my computer and I'll just jump on the iPad. I just don't want the power going out with my computer on.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Parts of town are already out. I'm on Facebook kind of searching here. Everybody's like, I'm out power. I'm like, oh, damn it. So see if we can race through this, get the show over so I don't got to do that.
Yeah. Nick, next item.
Yeah. There's an article on, PS4.sx. Anyways, it's
Really?
basically an interview with Sony where they admit that they don't really make much money on indie games. Like, PS4 has been pushing a lot of the indie games really hard.
Yeah.
But the president, Shuhei Yoshida, said that basically for every 10 indie games on PlayStation, there are 4 games that make the investment worth it.
Wow. So they've only got a 40% profitability. Who knew? I figured that the indie games would be most profitable because they cost so much less than the AAA titles.
I guess people just don't buy them.
Yeah.
The name of the article is kind of funny and hits the nail on the head. It says, Sony loves devs, but PS4 gamers hate indie.
I don't know why PS4 gamers hit it. Well, you have to kind of remember that we are a very insulated group of people that are following news and go to PAX and see these games firsthand and get other people interested in them. The vast majority of PlayStation users are not us. The only thing they know about are the AAA titles, the Assassin's Creeds and the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and games like that. They're not even going to know about these games. So they're not even interested in trying them, which I think is probably one of the things that Sony gets wrong right now and that Xbox gets right is the demos. Free demos for all games. Because when you've demoed a game, when a demo is free, you're more likely to download it. When you play it and you enjoy it, you're more likely to buy it. And I think that partially it might be due to how the lack of profitability in the indie sector is not so much due to the players of PS4 as much as it is about the way that Sony markets indie games on the PS4 versus any other console. Wow, I just shut down the podcast. Awesome.
No, I'm listen. I love having the demos. I wish PlayStation had more of them. I know Xbox, practically everything was a demo, and that's
Right.
what I really liked. And I gotta say, I played a whole bunch of demos on the PlayStation. Like I say, that Blue Estate I played, and then I played some on Steam. Some of the what were those creepy zombie ones there that were on Nintendo only? I played some of the Resident Evils. I did some demos on that.
Yeah.
They just.
I remember playing the demo for Katamari, Beautiful Katamari, that I just played the crap out of that demo. And finally, I actually bought the game out of guilt because I'd played the demo so much. But then you also look at the indie game demos that we played, like Home Run Challenge, especially when they were so cheap. When you play that demo so much, you it's like, oh God, for 99 cents or for a buck, I feel an obligation to throw the developer a buck at this point, even if I don't go to the full game.
I've done that so much that I played demos and then it's like, I'm just gonna buy it, even if I don't play it, because this guy put in all this time and it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My item right now, PSN is offering a crazy bunch of deals, 2-for-1 sale that are bundled, two for one games. They're pairing up games like Brothers and Survive, and Max Payne 3 and Red Dead Redemption. So they're actually fairly good bundles. Some of the bundles are fairly cheap. Some of them are not fairly cheap. It all depends on the kind of game that they're bundling together. But if you are on PSN, you might want to go and check out some of these bundles and maybe get a good deal. I know somebody in the chat room had got a bundle, and I can't remember what it was, but he was like, it's too good to pass up. I've got to buy it. And somebody in the chat room will remember who it is, because they posted it on the GameHounds Facebook page, which, by the way, is gamehounds.net. Sorry, it's facebook.com/the GameHounds. You should sign up for that. Like that page. You will get updates from everybody, but most importantly, you'll get updates of all the news through the week. But yeah, he said that he's already jumped in on the bundle thing. And if you haven't, you might want to. I'm going to hit it today. Again.
Here we go.
What
did you buy? What did you buy before?
What did I buy before?
Yeah.
I didn't buy
anything.
anything.
You're going to hit it? Oh, you said you're going to hit it again.
Well, I'm going to hit it today. I didn't mean again.
Okay.
I have not bought anything yet. I haven't gone on to the PlayStation Network since Sniper Elite 3 a couple of nights ago. So it wasn't up when I was there. Because I was on the Wii U. Playing the update game. Wolf Among Us is coming to retail disc for the 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4. I would recommend, if you haven't bought if you don't want to do the downloadable on the games, it's a good one. And I think you'll probably be a better ending when you play it all at once.
Oh, not just a better ending. It's better game
overall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess there was some kind of speculation because it was showing up on like GameFly and GameStop and Best Buy on their websites as a retail game, but it hadn't been announced that it was coming to a retail game. So it's just kind of confirming what a lot of people kind of already knew, that it at least had been leaked out through the website, the retailer websites. Denk, you got anything?
Yes. So there was a survey conducted by Gama Sutra that found that actually a quarter of YouTubers with over 5,000 subscribers participated in payola.
Yes.
Which is
actually, I thought it was almost half. It was 47%.
No, just a quarter.
Oh, I don't know where I got that 47%.
Joystick article.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. I'm going to pull up that. Let me pull it up because I might have gotten it out of another source.
I don't have a problem with that. I think if you're good at something and somebody sees value in you and they're willing to invest a little bit in you, it's a win-win. It's like you're happy doing your thing. You're getting paid. They're getting some exposure for whatever they want, probably fairly inexpensive. It's a win-win.
As I agree with you, with the caveat.
Except if you can't pay them.
Well, I agree with Goalie, with the caveat that you have an obligation to your listeners to say, I have been paid by this company. Because otherwise they're thinking that you are giving an objective opinion, and you haven't given an objective opinion.
I would, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Or I mean, maybe not come out and say, hey, guess what? Sony just paid me $100 to review this game. Maybe don't come out and say it like that.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, I say, look, I was, given a copy of this game, or thanks to Sony for sponsoring this podcast. Thanks for, Xbox Live for, whatever. I managed to, get $100 in Xbox Live credit, so I'm going to review these 3 games.
Well,
Right.
The problem is that getting paid by them seems like is a conflict of interest, because if someone wants you to talk about their game, they can just give them a copy of their game. And that's ideally what it should be, is that the YouTubers are promotion, and you give them a free copy of the game and they play it, and that gets promoted. By paying them, by giving them this extra incentive to play it, that engenders, possibly bribery, and it means that maybe they'll say more good things about it. Maybe they'll be less harsh on the game.
Right, because they want to get more money in the future from you.
Yes, and that means that they will review that game. Well, maybe not review, because I don't know how many of these Let's Players. It's not really a review. It's more of like like there's no word for it. It's just someone playing a game, not explicitly reviewing it. But still, it's coverage, and it's popular coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But they will cover that game over another game. And I think that's what gets particularly dangerous, especially if no one knows who's doing it, because these YouTubers are incredibly important for indie games. And so if you have larger publishers paying them to review larger games, that starts to shut out indie games, which is like who really need that coverage more than
Call of
people.
Duty. Yeah. Activision doesn't need to have them. Yeah, that's the question. Are they doing it because they want more publicity for their game, or because they just want to shut out indie games out of the loop?
And that's why I have a problem with the whole defense of like, well, if it's a win-win for everybody, because it's not really a win-win. It would be a win-win if the people promoting the game, if the people, well, like how reviews work now, you get the game for free. That's what you do. That's basically it, because that allows you to talk about it and not, essentially not be swayed either way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got extra money on top of the game, then that starts to look like, bonuses. That starts to look like bribery, because you're not just getting the product for review, you're getting the product and an extra little bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
Payola has a real bad association with it.
Right. Of those, and I was wrong. What it was is that Gamma Sutra surveyed 141 YouTubers who were of a certain amount of standing covering games, and of those interviewed, 30% had over 5,000 subscribers to their channel. So 30% of them were fairly large reviewers, 70% fairly small ones. Of the 30% who were the large internet personalities or YouTube personalities, 26% admitted to receiving money directly or indirectly from a game developer or publisher for recording videos of their games, with another 2 saying they preferred not to say. So it's like closer to probably 30%.
Okay.
Now, of the remaining YouTube publishers, YouTube content providers, the ones that had fewer than 5,000 subscribers, only 2% had received money from a publisher, showing that the larger you are, and I'm surprised that 5,000 subscribers is all it is. But the larger that you are, the more likely you are to receive the payola from the developers and publishers.
Yeah. Obviously, because they're not going to pay someone who's not going to get them views.
Right, but it's not just a little jump, it's a big jump. You start hitting, and I would be interested to see the people that have over 5,000 versus 10,000 subscribers. If it's 2% if you're under 5,000, and 26%, closer to 30% if you're over 5,000 subscribers. If you get up to 10,000 subscribers, I would imagine it's closer to like 50 to 75%. I don't know if it's logarithmic or if it's just linear. But obviously, there's going to be a lot more likelihood that you are going to be able to be making a living. In fact, some of them, what was it, a few weeks ago, that wasn't one of them like admitted that he makes over $1 million a year?
Yeah, PewDiePie.
Yeah, PewDiePie makes over $1 million a year doing nothing but playing video games. And I can guarantee you it's not from the advertising on his channel. He's getting money from publishers.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
How many people making that much though? Come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not many.
Yeah.
Well, barely any.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Here. That's not the norm.
Mark Hornblatt
But
says
still, 5,000 is not a.
it's not a lot. It's not a lot of subscribers. I'm surprised at the low level of amount that when you start making money off of your YouTube channel. It's kind of crazy. Mark Hornblatt, who is a developer, not a game developer, but an app developer, he says, I paid for online reviews of my app. It was more an explainer video than an endorsement or a critique. So, but at the same time, if you are paying for online reviews of your app to people that have standing within the community, then essentially it means that other apps that may not have paid were kind of bumped out of the way. So for people with you're an indie developer, obviously, but for other indie developers that didn't belly up to the table and offer money, it means that even though their app might be very good, they're not ever going to get reviewed because it's kind of like you need to pay to play.
I don't think, like, that's one of the defenses people make in the Gama Sutra article is that, or some things that commenters defended it with, is that Let's Plays are not reviews. Like, they're not critiques.
Right. All they are is just showing you them playing, and they're just playing it.
But at the same time, it is a critique. Like, even if it's not an explicit one, when you watch someone play a game, you determine whether that looks interesting or not. And by simply showcasing a game, and by playing it, and by showing maybe these mechanics are fun, maybe they're not, by looking at the person's reaction, whether they're enjoying it or not, that is a sales tactic. Like, you look at that and think that game looks fun.
Well, it's advertising.
Doesn't. Yes, it's advertising.
And
But it's not just advertising. It is critique.
Right.
Because you can watch someone play a shitty game and come to realize, okay, that looks shitty. Because advertising usually doesn't want to advertise that something is shit. That's not the point of it. But the Let's Play, by simply showcasing the game, like unbiased, even if it's unbiased gameplay, even if it's just showing a game being played, there is an element of critique to that.
Right.
Looking at the person's reaction.
Right, but it's the critique is within you. It's your critique. It is not the word of this respected source that you subscribe to.
It's the YouTuber playing it, and the YouTuber playing it can say this is shit, or this is fun, or this is okay.
That's true. And we're also making an assumption.
If that's all they say. That's still critique.
We're also making an assumption that these 141 people that were the YouTube personalities that were interviewed was all Let's Play. Some of them could have been reviewers who actually give their opinion about a game and do YouTube reviews, which if they're not disclosing that they have received a cash payment in order to be asked to review this game, that's unethical.
I think it's unethical either way.
Point. Yeah, it's even less ethical. How about that? It's definitely walking on walking very close to the line of unethical, if not slightly crossing over just for for a Let's Play video. I think if you are paying someone who is providing an opinion and not telling you that their opinion has been paid for, then, and even if they say, and you could still do an honest review of something. Really? Somebody just came to my door. You can still play for an honest review of something. And you can have an honest review of something even if you've been paid. But if you're not disclosing that you've been paid, then it seems like you're making it something that you're hiding. And and
there's always the risk that if you have been paid, that if the game is bad or if it's just okay, you'll be easier on it.
All right.
And so if it's just an okay game, instead of calling it okay, you'll say, this is pretty good.
Yeah. Kim Bulwer says that the $1 million number for Cutie Pie was specifically YouTube ads. Well, if that's the case, then he's making way more than that on endorsements. Not endorsements, but, can we just call it Playola? What? That's what it was. That's when Playola is a word that was originally used for radio stations.
Really?
You don't know about the Playola?
I've
Destroy.
heard of Payola.
Let Grandma Edith tell you about the early days of radio when AM radio would play.
I know, like the whole history of that. I didn't know it was called Playola.
It was called Playola, that DJs were being paid to play records so that they would become hits. And it destroyed that. The Playola scandals got, it destroyed a lot of careers. A lot of DJs disappeared off the face of the map. In fact, Dick Clark got caught up in the Playola controversy, but he, I believe, turned state's evidence. Don't quote me on that. But he got out of it somehow. But Dick Clark was implicated in Playola.
All right.
Yeah. No, PewDie, not QT Pie. PewDie.
No, PewDiePie.
PewDiePie. God, fuck.
Which basically comes out of PewDiePie.
Yeah, Cutie Pie. I was called Cutie Pie.
No, PewDiePie.
I know, PewDiePie. Whatever.
Anyways, Mark says that the game journalism industry is relatively young compared to older media, so the ethics are less clear for many young execs.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. I don't think it has to do with the youth of the industry because, you look at all these other industries that provide examples. I think the confusion of all this is because of the internet and because it's unclear what a Let's Play really is. Because what the fuck is a Let's Play? Like, when you think about that in terms of advertising and critique, how on earth would that possibly translate into any other medium? Is that like a clip of a movie? Is that a chapter of a book?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Except that's not, because you're not having someone respond to it. That's like me watching a clip of a movie and saying whether or not it looks good. Like, but that's just stupid, isn't it?
Right.
But so what the fuck is a Let's Play?
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, is what the confusion is, because it's a confusing thing.
It's in something entirely different from any other media that we've had in history. That it compares to nothing. So, and one of the chat room posters actually mentioned that the games industry, especially games journalism industry, is so comparatively young to all other review industries. Yeah, it was Mark. That it's so young that really a lot of the ethics have not really formed themselves. And not only that is it not only very young, but it's completely unique to things that have happened before it to help determine what's ethical and what's not.
Well, that's what I kind of disagree. I don't think it's the youth of the industry that contributes to any of that. I think it's the weirdness of the industry. Like, I don't think it's the youth that says, oh, the ethics aren't fully formed because it's so young. Because you can easily look at other industries and compare it to that and, use those as a model. It's the fact that no other industry has a Let's Play equivalent that makes people think, well, what is this? Is this ethical? Is it not? I think it's the uniqueness that makes it confusing, not the youth.
Yeah. Anyway, we've definitely beaten that horse to death.
Nah, I think it's still breathing.
All right, now back into the fart and dick jokes.
Kick it.
I like the Let's Play because it's kind of there's a lot of games on Steam. I'm like, I wonder what this game is.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, so you go to YouTube, it's like, okay, Let's Play Space Cadet.
Right.
And it's like, now you can see what is a Let's Play Sniper Elite 3. I think it's a great idea. I think it's
I'm not saying it's bad. I love Let's Plays.
Me too.
No, I was saying the payola of it is bad.
The payola of it is definitely
bad. The idea
bad.
of them is great.
Right.
I don't think they should be paid for it. I think they should get the games for free and then showcase what games they want to showcase.
Right. Because it creates an uneven playing
field. Let's
field.
Plays, man. I don't want them to stop.
Yep.
No, you're being a dick right now.
Oh, Coley, stop being such an.
It's not
curmudgeon.
Thursday. I can't be a dick today.
It's only Wednesday.
I know.
EA.
I'm getting there.
EA is ending support for Sims 2. Finally, after what?
30 years.
Yeah, no, not that long, but it's close. It feels like it. But when they're doing it in a really nice way. They're ending support for Sims 2. That's going to happen on July 22nd. But before it goes down, they are going to give a copy of the most up-to-date version of the game that has every expansion and every stuff pack. It's called the Sims 2 Ultimate Collection. They are going to give a copy of that to everybody who has registered their copy of Sims 2 with Origin. So you won't have support, but you will have the most up-to-date copy with absolutely everything. They're essentially opening the doors and saying, here, if you haven't bought it before, now you've got it. Go keep playing it. That's a nice way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, let's see, what else do I have? Oh, Don't Starve Reign of Giants, which I played at PAX and enjoyed and can't wait for because it's going to eat my life again. It's going to hit PS4 next week, July 22nd, same day.
One of my roommates has recently gotten really into Don't Starve.
Which one?
Her name's Donna.
Okay, so it's a girl. So,
yeah,
have you warned her that this is going to eat your life?
Yes.
That it's Minecraft for the grown-ups?
And I've warned her that it's a nihilistic game that will make you give up on life.
That's true. And now she's got even more of it to play. Yeah, it's coming out July 22nd in North America. The next day in Europe. It's going to be $5 for the DLC. Oh, no, it's actually standalone, isn't it?
I don't
remember. I want to say it's standalone. No, I can't remember.
I don't think it is.
Okay. But anyway, it's $5. But PS Plus members, if you're on PS4 and got the PS Plus, it's 10% discount. So you get 50 cents off. $4.50.
But yeah, goddamn. I know that game has changed a lot since I last played it.
Yeah.
I might have to go back and try it out sometime.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're gonna add 4-player co-op, and I think that might.
If they have 4-player co-op on that, yeah, it just fuck my life. It's over.
That would be such a completely different game.
It would, and it would be fun.
Yeah.
Or better yet, for a 4-player competitive, you can walk into somebody else's camp and set it on fire. And speaking of, we were talking about Let's Plays. One of the reasons why I have never done a Let's Play is because there is no really good software for doing streaming, broadcasting on Macs, and we are a Mac house, necessarily a Mac house. But if you have the same problem as I do, Open Broadcaster software, which is kind of the quote-unquote industry standard. It's kind of the major program that Let's Players use for broadcasting PC game streams, has finally released a Mac version. Yes! It's buggy as hell, from what I hear. Tons of things aren't working. But as they get that stuff straightened out, apparently it's also going to come out for Linux as well sometime soon. But once they get the bugs straightened out, you will actually see more gameplay from me on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/GameHounds. So get ready. Get yourself ready. You're going to see me playing things badly.
on what platform?
Mac. That's what I said. It's a Mac thing. I could never stream anything on my Mac.
Okay.
In fact, we might even see if I can do a video stream of us doing this show. Crazy. And Nick, you got anything else?
I got a voice.
Oh, you have a voice. We'll do that later and get to it at the end of the show because there's a bunch of tweets as well.
All right. Just hurry up.
No,
Power.
I think this is. I don't have any other things.
All right. Let's see what else I have got. Have I got anything? Nope. Except Ollie Ollie. Ollie Ollie's coming to Steam. We played that also at PAX East.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, the skateboarding game. It's gonna hit July 22nd as well. God, July 22nd is gonna be good. But it's hitting July 22nd. $13 in the US, £10 in the UK. So it's gonna be on Steam. So check that out. All right. I didn't load up the sounder for time for mail bitches. So it's time for the mail bitches.
Let me see if I can play this. See, I'm gonna try to play through my mixer. It's pretty crackly. It's a cell phone connection call, but
all right, give it a shot. You can do it.
Play it. See if you guys can hear it.
I believe you.
Is a voicemail we got. Oh, by the way, the number is 304-300-9889. 304-300-9889. It gets text and voicemails, and here's one right now. So let's see how this goes.
Hey, GameHounds. This is Richard Rawl. I just wanted to call and tell you guys, I know I've been tweeting you guys lately and telling you how much I love the show, and I just wanted to call, leave a voicemail, and just to let you know the reason I've been a little more vocal, or a lot more vocal. I've been listening to you guys for over 260 episodes.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I just stayed silent and really never showed the love, and I don't know. I just all of a sudden realized the other week that, you know what? They're working hard. They're doing it for the fans. You know, they're doing it for themselves, obviously, but, you know, they're doing it for the fans, and I just felt like I was not contributing to the show, and I was not, you know, truly showing my support for the show, so I started tweeting and talking and contacting you guys. So, anyway, just wanted to call and let you know I'm not a stalker or anything like that. I just wanted to really let you guys know that I think your show is great, and I think there are other shows out there that are quote-unquote bigger that don't even do half as good of a job and don't have half the chemistry that you three have together. So, anyway, I look forward to chatting back and forth here and there, possibly doing a little gaming, and at the very least listening and enjoying the show. So, Nick, Goalie, and Nikki, I think you're the greatest, and please keep it up. I'll always be a loyal listener. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Well, I'm actually tearing up a little bit.
That was good.
Thanks. That was great.
Yeah, you just made 270 episodes more than worth it, and we'll keep going. You just bought yourself another 270 episodes.
Yeah, we haven't had that.
For free.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he actually, and that was when it's funny, and you said I've got some tweets and stuff. That's the same guy, Richard, who said,
cool.
Gamer Edie, I love the GameHounds, and you're the ultimate gamer chick. Aww. Thank you for finally updating the RSS feed. You're welcome. Sorry. It's don't worry. The RSS feed will be updated now on a regular basis. We're going back to our same old situation where you're going to see the RSS feeds as soon as we're done with these shows. That's at least until I get a job. And also, he sent something to Thursday Nick that said, here, let me get back to, I gotta find it. You are the greatest, Nick, and I love your contribution to the GameHounds. Your surgical precision on game descriptions is number one. So, yeah, Richard, just remember, Thursday Nick is not Nick. It is the anti-Nick. Yeah, Thursday Nick is an asshole. That's what Thursday Nick does. But, Nick, you can respond to Richard now that you've got that. Because Nick doesn't have a Twitter account.
Thank you. That's incredibly flattering. That, like, makes me, like, feel good about droning on and on about tiny little details in the game.
Yeah, you're the anti-me.
I will keep on doing it.
You're the anti-me. I just go in there, yeah, it sucks. And then you go into the details of why. See, it works. And Jaeger says, definitely a stalker. That's okay. I could use a stalker. I think I'd be a little honored if I had a stalker at this point. After 270 episodes, not having a stalker at this point, it's kind of sad. What?
I didn't want to say that.
I get to say it because I've got the vagina. It's my prerogative.
No, you and Nick have such an unfair advantage over me.
Why?
Vaginas.
Oh.
I knew that's where you were going. I knew it. I was waiting for it. I was like,
oh,
here it comes. 3, 2, and...
Nick, hers must be a little bit bigger because I had to explain it to her.
Oh, my God. Terrible. Anyway. So anything else before we want to shut down this show? And I can go update this to the RSS feed? Yay. No?
I don't think I have it. No, like I say, anybody out there playing Sniper Elite 3, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us coming out end of the month. I'm looking forward to playing on the PS4.
It's about to start to get really good. It's been a slow month. In another couple of weeks, it's going to start getting better.
It's been a slow month. Yeah. I played Sniper Elite 3. I played Valiant Hearts. I played MLB The Show.
Sure.
Call of Duty, and that's only because my PC's in the shop, and I haven't been able to play anything on Steam. I got the Defense Grid 2 beta I was playing.
Yep.
So for a summer, there's a lot of stuff I'm playing.
Good point. Good point.
it's a good time to catch up.
Definitely a good time to catch up.
It's a good time for small games.
Yeah, these games come out perfect time. Perfect time.
Yep. Well done, sirs. All right, so let's close this out. You have been listening to GameHounds episode 271. We did record this on Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. I've been Edie Sellers, and with me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. The ways to get a hold of us, GameHounds.net is the website. And as we've mentioned, the Facebook page, you should sign up for that Facebook page. You should like it because you will get an ongoing feed of the most important news as curated by Pissboy. But you will get that through your Facebook feed. The Facebook page is facebook.com/thegamehounds. In addition, you can email us at gamehounds@gmail.com. And as Goalie showed, you can leave voicemails and also text us on our voicemail and text line. That number is
304-300-9889.
And finally, if you are listening to us on iHeartRadio, please let us know that you're listening to us on iHeartRadio. Just send us an email or send us a message through Twitter. The Twitter account is GameHounds. Just send us or even go on the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, send us a message saying, I listen to you on iHeartRadio. We're trying to see how many people are actually listening to us, and we're gaining listeners on there. So it's really important for us to know that. In addition, if you do listen to us on iTunes, please make a point of going to the iTunes page and giving us a rating, good, bad, or indifferent. We will not give you payola to make an opinion, but we do want to know it. And it's important for us because we can get information and feedback on how we're doing on the show, but also important to other people so that they can find us and decide if they like us. So go to the iTunes page and make sure you do a review of us on iTunes. The iTunes feed is GameHounds. All right. Anything else? What did I miss, Goalie? Because I always miss something.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is, because Nick has a new microphone and he sounds really different, I'm going to give you a sound effect to record and put behind him every time you speak.
Exactly. All right, everyone in the chat room, thank you so much for joining us. Mark,
Now that I understand him?
Huh?
Now that Nick's nice and clear and I can understand him, I want him on the show less.
I didn't think that was possible.
And thank you, everybody in the chat room, for joining us. Jaeger, Eric, Cotton, Kevin, Bulware, Mark, Hornblatt, AC Wraith. If you were there and I did not mention you, it's because I'm running out of music, so I got to go. So we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.